Hey Empire, how you doing? Thank you for stopping by. This is another week, and another week marks another week of football. Thursday, we got a good Thursday night game between the Baltimore Ravens, the Cincinnati Bengals. We got 4-5 Cincinnati, 6-3 Baltimore. Division rivalry. Cincinnati trying to get back on track. This is the predictions for Week 10, coming to you, presented to you by your host, your boy, Unknown Emperor. Thank you for stopping by. If you're new to the channel, I appreciate you. Like, share, and subscribe. If you're not new, thank you. Y'all always appreciate it. You know, predictions. We've been pretty good on it. Right now, I want to say we're 76 and 66, or what? We are 74 and 64. Let me see if I can. We are 74 and 64. Last week we went 7 and 8. So this week we're trying to go above and beyond. We're trying to go plus 500, so we make sure we're not in this position again. There is a lot of good games happening this week. There's also a lot of iffy games, a lot of trap games that we have coming into Week 10. So thank you for stopping by. This is my unknown predictions for NFL Week 10. Let's get into it. With games like Baltimore, Cincinnati, Detroit taking on Houston, Washington taking on Pittsburgh, those are the games that highlight Week 10. Today's Thursday, so we got to start off with the Thursday night game, and that is the aforementioned Cincinnati Bengals coming in at 4-5, going to Baltimore, taking on the 6-3 Baltimore Ravens. Last time that these two teams went head to head, this was a hard-fought victory that went into overtime and needed an 80-yard run from Derrick Henry and a walk-off field goal to seal the deal. I believe it is going to be something like that again coming into this game. It is going to be a hard-fought victory, but something about the Baltimore Ravens, even though this is a divisional game, a divisional match, hard fight, these two know each other more than anybody else as far as divisional rivals go. Them and then, Baltimore and Pittsburgh. But something's not right. I know Joe Shiesty has been playing great, but that defense is not put together. The Baltimore Ravens is on track. Lamar MVP loading that third one. Derrick Henry, King Henry. Now the defense leaves a bunch to desire, but I feel like they are going to make more plays on offense than Cincinnati, and Baltimore is gonna come out of this Thursday night game with the dub. Next, we have the 2-7 Giants taking on the 2-7 Carolina Panthers in Munich, Germany. I feel bad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for Germany, for them being presented this game, because this is an atrocity. This is an atrocious, rude display of what America has to offer when it comes to football. The Giants, the Panthers. I flipped a coin on this one, going back and forth with it. These are two teams on my do not vote list. I flipped a coin. Heads was Panthers, tails was Giants, and we're going to go with the Panthers because it was heads. So that's pretty much, Bryce Young, Daniel Jones, both of these teams are performing exactly what we thought they were going to perform, under 500, bottom of their divisions. But somebody has to win this game. We're going to go with Carolina. Next, we have the 2-7 New England Patriots taking on the 4-4 Chicago Bears. And if you are a long-term watcher of this series that I got going with my predictions and my recap, New England is on that list of not getting voted for, because when I pick them, they lose. When I don't pick them, they win. I'm not picking them because I no longer want to give off the impression that they're going to win. So we're going to go with the 4-4 Chicago Bears, led by Caleb Williams, who is getting outperformed at that Rookie of the Year by Jaden Daniels. It's still so much season left, but he has the Bears in a better position, fighting for a wild card spot. But there's so much growth that he has to have for him to be that elite quarterback. This is his first year. I expected to get that. There's nothing nice for me to say about the New England Patriots, so I'm not going to say anything at all. Leave it alone. We'll go about it like that. We have the 7-2 Buffalo Bills taking on the 4-5 Indianapolis Colts, and I believe that Josh Allen is going to continue his MVP caliber season, taking the Buffalo Bills to 8-2, going inside that dome that Indianapolis plays in. Joe Flacco is a old quarterback, regardless of how we want to shape it, regardless of how we want to move it. He is an old quarterback. He's gonna have flashes here or there where he's gonna perform really well, but I don't believe that they should have got moved on from AR in the seat for Joe Flacco. And it's gonna rear its ugly head. Not saying that they can't make the playoffs with Joe Flacco, just saying that I feel like the growth and development in Anthony Richardson would have been more and beneficial for this franchise than Joe Flacco right now. I said all that to say that the Buffalo Bills is gonna win this game. Next, we have the 5-4 Denver Broncos taking on the undefeated Kansas City Chiefs, and we're gonna go with the Chiefs. This is Patrick Mahomes versus an AFC West team. Broncos was one of the last AFC West teams to beat Patrick Mahomes. It was either them or the Raiders. But Patrick Mahomes is, and ironically, they lose at home. Like when the Chiefs lose to the AFC West team, they lose at Arrowhead. So this is one of those trap games so you heard it here, not heard it here first, because I'm pretty sure somebody else said it. But if Broncos were to upset the Kansas City Chiefs, we would not be surprised here, just because of the history between the two. But for our predictions, we are going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs. Next, we have the 6-3 Atlanta Falcons taking on the 2-7 New Orleans Saints, and New Orleans is trending downwards. New Orleans is a snowball effect that is just gonna cause a rebuild. They traded Marshawn Lattimore to the Washington Commanders, which was annoying as hell. They don't have a quarterback. Olave has his 5th concussion in I don't know how long. If you flood the box up, Alvin Kamara is not gonna have no running room. And then that defense is atrocious. Kirk Cochains then adapted the Atlanta personality, and you can see it in the way that they're playing. We're going to go with Atlanta going into the Superdome, Mercedes Superdome, going to New Orleans and walking out with the dub, leading the Atlanta Falcons to a 7-3 record, which is beneficial because this is why they got Michael Penix, because they know Kirk Cousins can get them through the regular season. It's the playoffs. So if Michael is behind the scenes, behind learning, developing, Atlanta is in for a good little couple years, a nice little decade. But we're gonna end that off with the Atlanta Falcons. Next, we have the 4-4 San Francisco 49ers taking on the 4-5 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That is the Christian McCaffrey cloud hanging over it. Will he, won't he play? Even with the depleted receivers that Tampa Bay Buccaneers have, I believe that Baker Mayfield is going to lead the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in a win over the San Francisco 49ers. This one is more heart over head. I believe in Baker. I don't necessarily believe in the 49ers. So I don't really think they're going to come in here and win. They have been extremely inconsistent. That's why the Arizona Cardinals is leading their division right now. I don't believe. So we are going to go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Next, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers sitting at 6-2, taking on the 7-2 Washington Commanders. And if you thought that these two teams were going to be leading their divisions at this point in the season, you're lying. You are lying to me, because these two teams are the surprise team, two of the surprise teams in the NFL right now. With this game, I'm going to go with Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Going against a rookie quarterback, Mike Tomlin, he's not Bill Belichick as far as going against the rookie quarterbacks, but Mike Tomlin has been in the league a long time. I feel like he's going to be able to game plan. They're not going to be able to stop TJ Watt. He's going to wreck this game. And the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to get the dub over the Washington Commanders. But Washington is playing out of their minds right now. I believe in them. Their stock is going up. This team is playing out of their minds. They love playing for that quarterback and that coach. That defense is growing every week behind Dan Quinn. This team is gonna be good for years to come. But we're gonna lock in Pittsburgh beating the Washington Commanders. Next, we have the Minnesota Vikings taking on the 2-7 Jacksonville Jaguars. Jacksonville is on that no vote list, so it's not a lot of explanation that's gonna go behind this. I'm gonna pick the Minnesota Vikings. Even though Jacksonville almost came back against Philadelphia last week, that was more or less Nick Sirianni bad play calling, missing out on points, as opposed to actually Jacksonville doing enough to get back into the game. We're gonna go with Minnesota. We have the 5-3 surprise 5-3 Los Angeles Chargers taking on the 2-6 Tennessee Titans. Same as the last game. Tennessee is one of those games, one of those teams that we don't bet on, we don't pick, we don't do anything with. We just leave them where they at until they prove to you that they can consistently string off some good play, or they play a team equally as bad as them. Chargers is not equally as bad, so we're gonna say the Chargers walk out of Los Angeles with the dub going to 6-3. We have the 6-2 Philadelphia Eagles taking on the 3-5 Dallas Cowboys. Every fiber of my being is saying that the Philadelphia Eagles is gonna win this game. 99% of the fiber in my being, because it's that one little whisper that this is a division game, this is a rivalry game. They have nothing to lose. We have everything to lose. This is just like one of those trap games that Nick Sirianni has the moxie to lose. But nah, we picking Philadelphia. Fly Eagles fly, baby. Fly Eagles fly. Next, we have the 3-6 Jets taking on the 5-4 Arizona Cardinals. I'm gonna go with Aaron Rodgers. They showed me something last week with that offense, like they can move the ball. Arizona has been a surprise team, but I'm not gonna bet against Aaron Rodgers in the moment. Even though they lost that game that I thought they shouldn't have, that was just like a kick in the ass for them to get back on track, and here we are now. For our Sunday night game, we have what I personally dubbed as the game of the week. We have the 7-1 Detroit Lions taking on the 6-3 Houston Texans. This game, I'm gonna go with the best team in football right now. That is the Detroit Lions. CJ Stroud is missing his weapons, so he's not producing as what we would expect him to produce. And I understand, I'm not gonna crucify him for it, but he doesn't have his weapons. Jared Goff has weapons plus more. That defense is led by Brian Branch and Aaron Glenn. Oh, that defense. But that's the best team in football right now. The best team in football. So I gotta go with the Detroit Lions. Even going against a good team like the Houston Texans. And then Monday night, we have the 2-6 Miami Dolphins taking on the 4-4 Los Angeles Rams. And the Rams, with Puka Nacua coming back, Cooper Kupp being healthy, Kyron Williams on that offense, Matthew Stafford being reliable. Tua is getting another game back. I feel like he's going to need a couple more before he's back on par to what we're expecting him. That offense doesn't look the same. Jalen Waddle does not look the same. I remember there was an argument between him and Devontae Smith. I don't think there's much of an argument anymore. That's just me. But Unknown predicts we're going to lock it in with the Los Angeles Rams. There you have it. Unknown predictions for Week 10 of this NFL season. We're going to go down the rundown one last time. We have Baltimore over Cincinnati, Carolina over the Giants, Chicago over New England. We have the Bills over the Colts, Chiefs over Broncos, Falcons over Saints, Buccaneers over 49ers, Steelers over Washington, Minnesota over Jacksonville, Chargers over the Titans, Philadelphia over Dallas, Jets beating Arizona, Detroit taking it against the Houston Texans, and Monday night finishing off with the Rams beating the Miami Dolphins. Please check back in my recap to see how we do. Please drop your predictions down in the comments down below. I do appreciate y'all for stopping by. Like, share, subscribe. Until next time, y'all have a blessed